Okay, I promise you that we're going to have some real people on our show, and they right here. Kathy Skiba is here from North Branch. She's shown Jersey cows at the fair here for 30 plus years. How many years, Kathy?
It has been exactly 30 years this year. 2014 was our 30th year at the Minnesota State Fair.
And so is it fun? Tell me the truth.
It's really, truly an experience. We love it. Our family loves it. Our my husband and Dave and our children.
The cows?
You know, the cows truly love it. They're really pampered. And when they go home, they kind of look at us by standing by the gate and say, I think it was better over there at the fair.
Okay, and how about to be stared at by thousands and thousands of us city people just staring at you like I'm doing right now?
The cows are able to close their eyes and sleep when they get tired, so they're able to ignore people. But I do think they like it.
You're an exhibit in the farmer's zoo.
True, we are. But you know, we also have the opportunity to get a message out to people that don't have the opportunity that we have to live on a farm. And so we can share what we do with our life and with our cows, and how we love our land and we take care of it, and how we love our animals and take care of them, and then provide a nutritious product for all of you.
All right. We have royalty with us. Here, Princess Kay of the Milky Way, Jeni Haler is here, and she's from Norwood, Young America, wearing her tiara and very nicely turned out in black high heels. This is not a dairy outfit that you're wearing here. You actually have raised dairy cows.
I certainly have for 19 years now.
Uh-huh. And you could do it again if you had to.
I certainly could.
But you're 19 and you're a student here at the University of Minnesota, majoring in Spanish, Portuguese, and?
Animal science.
Animal science and Spanish and Portuguese. What was the idea here, Jeni?
I just thought it would be fun. Uh-huh. No, I'm looking into the international dairy industry. That's my goal.
Oh, really? I talked to you earlier, and you introduced some terms that I had never, ever heard before in my life. Robotic milkers.
That's right. It's our one of our newest technologies in the dairy community.
A small thing like a vacuum cleaner moves around, beeping on little wheels, and walks up to each cow out in the meadow and attaches itself, no?
Not quite that way. What the robotic milker is it's a device inside your barn, and it gives the cows the opportunity to come to the milker. They get a treat of food in there, and then they're milked by this robotic device.
It reaches out with its tentacles, small hoses?
No, not exactly. It has a nice robotic arm that gently washes the cow first. And then it individually puts on the units onto the cow's teats.
The units onto the cow's teats. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense. What if I accidentally walk too close to the robotic milker?
You know, I haven't thought about that yet.
Oh, okay. Don't. Let's not think about it. Let's not think about it. So how did you come out this year with your Jersey cows?
Well, you know, this year we had an awful lot of fun at the fair. We really were kind of in the middle of the group. We came out 4th overall in herdsmanship, which meant that above all of the groups that exhibited this year, we were in the top 10, and we were 4th in that group. We felt proud of that. It's a family affair. We had 3 generations there at the state fair this year.
A Minnesotan is more comfortable if we come in somewhere in the middle, don't you think, rather than...
Well, we would have liked to have been on the top, maybe next year.
So you walk these cows past the judges, stern, stone-faced judges, and you want to keep their head up?
Oh, it's an intense process. So you want to walk them really slow, which is very different from any other animal.
Right.
Keep their head up tall, and you want to make them look as good as possible.
Uh-huh. And what about the tail? You need to keep the tail down, right?
Right, and we try and keep them clean, very, very clean.
Yes, which keeping the tail down would help.
True, very much.
Not to be too obvious about it. So, your family is still in the business of dairy cows?
That's correct, my dad.
Uh-huh. How many cows are you milking now?
We have 70 black and white cows, which are the Holsteins.
70 seems like a lot to some people, but there are farms that are milking 1,000. And soon there will be dairy farms with more cows than there are people in Wilmer, Minnesota. vast settlements of cows with enormous robot milkers moving from cow to cow. Is this good?
You know what? It doesn't really matter the size, whether it's small or large. The average right now in Minnesota is about 200, and despite what size of herd you have, our animals are absolutely our number one priority.
It takes a large family to milk 200 cows, 365 days a year, 2 or 3 times a day. A large family of well-disciplined children.
That's true, but also loving children. We happen to have 4 children and 12 grandchildren, and it's great to see the opportunities that we've had in our family because of being on a dairy farm.
You raised a labor poem.
Might say that. No, loving family.
How thoughtful of you. But it takes people of discipline, and isn't that why Stearns County, still predominantly German American, is one of the biggest dairy farming counties in Minnesota? Germans, no?
You know, I'm a little German myself.
I thought so. That's why I was looking at you.
Can you tell, what is it? Is it the eyes, the nose?
It's the brown eyes, and I will say no more. But it's not a line of work for flighty, adventurous, introspective people who with an urge to travel.
You know, I think you're trying to get at something here. No, you know what? It takes a lot of self-discipline, and whether or not you want to travel, it certainly works out. You have to have the passion. That's what matters the most.
The passion?
Yeah, truly, the passion. You love your cows, you love the environment, you love what you're doing, and you also love to tell your story to others. Because, you know, there's fewer and fewer of us dairy farmers now, and one of our passions and one of the reasons why we do exhibit cattle at the fair is to share our story with all the people that don't have that opportunity to visit a farm anymore.
I knew a dairy farmer, he was the father of a friend of mine from Granite Falls, and when he was too old to milk cows anymore, he had 20-some cows, and he retired them. They went into retirement.
Well, cows go into retirement sometimes.
Is that common?
Well, it depends how old they are. I mean, I hope it's not very common. We like to keep our cows around as long as possible.
Yes, of course. Okay. My last question, is this a good life?
My life has been just a tremendous opportunity. It's an opportunity to be with my husband, our family, to watch it grow, to see the next generation come in. My children have married wonderful spouses, and then to see the 3rd generation. It was great this year at the State Fair to see, you know, a 5-year-old leading a Jersey cow to the milking parlor and back, and people saying, you know, where else would you see that than at the Minnesota State Fair?
Jeni.
Well, I look at it as an apple. And I find that in America and in Minnesota, farmers are the core. And despite the difficulties and the challenges that we may go through, the core is where it's at. And you can't have a beating heart without the core. And so I see dairy farming continuing into the future for many years. Okay, all right. That's a great mixed metaphor, but I'll accept it. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy Skiba. Jeni Haler.